Welcome to Sip and Say with Stephanie. How y'all doing tonight? It is June 17th, 2021, the third Thursday in the month. So it is Sip and Say time with Stephanie. I am so excited to be with you on tonight. Y'all, I don't know about y'all, but I is tired tonight. I'm gonna tell y'all that I'm tired. It has been such a busy week this week. I put some long hours at work to get the job done, and y'all, I'm tired. I am tired, y'all. Let me just tell you. I'm so glad that I don't have to go to work tomorrow. I have the day off from work. So I'll still be working because I have some housework to do. I have some clothes to wash. I have some floors to mop, sweep and mop. Can't mop without sweeping, at least you shouldn't. So I am going to be working tomorrow, but I'm going to try my best, y'all, to get me some rest in because ain't nothing like being tired on your day off. You shouldn't be tired on your day off, but it just happens that way sometimes. You know, we work so hard during the week, and sometimes when we're supposed to be resting, we really can't because we have family to take care of, we have chores to do or things to do around the house, we have grocery shopping and other things, bills to pay, other things to do. So it's rough out here in these streets trying to make a living. But it's good. It's all good. I'm so glad to be working. I'm so glad for the new position the Lord has given to me. Y'all have heard me talk about it in other broadcasts. And so I'm just excited. You know, I'm tired, but I am excited to be alive. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited for this Sip and Say on tonight. Look, this is the Black edition. This is Sip and Say with Stephanie, the Black edition, because we're going to talk all things Black. Y'all see, I got my Juneteenth shirt on, 1885. 1865. I can't see. Y'all know it's 1865. And y'all look, my shirt getting a little snug. I have had this shirt for some years now. I bought this shirt like at Rose's for like $5 some years ago. And I was telling my cousin Vika who makes t-shirts, I was like, look, girl, you got to make me a new Juneteenth t-shirt. I bought this one, but I was like, you need to make me a new Juneteenth because it's getting a little snug. Like, I don't like all this a little bit too much showing up in her room. But it is what it is. You know, I'm female, so it is what it is. But this is my Juneteenth shirt. Y'all look, I was so excited about Juneteenth this year that I pulled my t-shirt out on June 1st, had it hanging on my door, ready to be worn on June 19th. like I was ready for Juneteenth this year. And of course, today is the 17th, the 19th is Saturday. So after this, I'm going to take this off, kind of, you know, refresh it. And then I'll be pulling this back out on Saturday to celebrate Juneteenth. I hadn't planned to talk about Juneteenth first, but since I'm on it, I will go ahead and share. I'm going to take a little sip. My water is condensing because it's warm here in my home. I try to keep my electricity bill down so that the air stays on like 78. Which works for me because I have a lot of trees that cover my home. So it keeps me pretty nice and cool during the summer. I'm about to choke again. During the summertime, my home stays pretty cool, and I'm so thankful. Ooh, I should have bought my water bottle over here. I was thirsty. So I don't want to talk about Juneteenth yet. I really want to get into. Well, no, let me go ahead and talk about it. Yeah, let me pull up my little notes because y'all know I sometimes forget things. I gotta write stuff down. So Juneteenth was originally celebrated again on June 19th, 1865, when I didn't write his first name down. Oh gosh, I thought I had written his first name down. Let me look it up really quickly. It was General Granger. He was a Union general and a U.S. Army officer. He actually brought the news to Galveston, Texas, that the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed and decreed, and all enslaved people were free. Now, of course, it was signed It took a year, over a year. Ooh, girl, let me brush up on my history. Y'all history buffs be like, y'all need to get Stephanie Humphrey, you need to get yourself together. It was signed in 1863 on January 1st. So it took a little over a year, 2 years, excuse me, for the word to get to Galveston, Texas. Y'all know why, because we in a social media age now. News gets to us in lightning speed, but of course that didn't happen back in the 1800s because of travel. They travel by foot or horse or wagon, mule sometimes. And so it took some time for the word to get to Galveston, Texas, or to get to Texas, and in particular Galveston, Texas, that the Emancipation Proclamation had been signed and that all enslaved people are free. So we celebrate June 19th, Juneteenth, every single year. We consider it our Liberation Day, our Freedom Day, our Jubilee Day, the day that we were officially, for everybody, as far as the Black race, officially free. Of course, we were officially free on the 1st of January, 1863, but it took, like I said, it took some time for the word to get out. And so everybody was the information that the proclamation had been signed. Word got out on June 19th, 1865. And the people in Galveston, they celebrated then, and we continue to celebrate our Liberation Day, even in 2021. Y'all, we know 1865, that's been over 200 years ago. And we still working on Jubilee. We still working on freedom. We still working on emancipation in all aspects of American life, economically, with our laws and the criminal justice system and education. We are still working to be totally 100% free, because as we know, racism is still very much alive and well. Inequality is still very much alive and well in these here United States of America. So while we are celebrating this weekend, we're still fighting the good fight of freedom for us all, but in particular for Black people. So that is June 18th, y'all. I love Juneteenth. I want to say it doesn't affect me personally, but it does affect me personally because it's my history, it's my people. And so I get so excited about Juneteenth. I don't do anything except for just celebrate. I wear my t-shirt when people ask me about it. I'm able to educate them about Juneteenth. So that's the extent of like my celebration. If there's something online, I'll listen to that. If I can go to a community event, for example, there is a Black-owned vineyard, y'all, up here in my area. They've been open for a year. They're actually celebrating 1 year this weekend. And they have their anniversary celebration going on this weekend, as well as Juneteenth celebrations. One of their celebrations was tonight, y'all, at 5:30. And I was like, I can't go because I have to do my sip and say, but they have celebrations going on throughout the weekend. And I think I'm gonna go tomorrow since I'm off, once I get my work done and rest a little bit. I think I'm gonna head over there so I can take part in some of the Juneteenth celebrations, as well as celebrating their 1 year anniversary. They had a free event tonight, but they have some jazz going on this weekend and some other events at the vineyard. Now I can't even think of the name of the vineyard. I'm gonna look it up really quickly in case any of you want to go. It's in Norlena, North Carolina, and it is called, let me find it, because I want to tell you, because they also have several events going on at this vineyard. They have a like couples weekends where couples can go and get their feet on and dance and celebrate. They have quite a few events going on. So even if you're not able to make it this weekend, I definitely want you to get to Norlena, to this Black-owned vineyard. This is a Black edition. Like I said, this is the Black edition. We talking all things Black people on this night. So it's called Seven Springs Farms and Vineyards. I will make sure that I post their link in the description once the video is over. It's called Seven Springs Farm and Vineyard. It is a family-owned vineyard. I'm really excited to go. I'm hoping that they have some alcohol-free wine, because I know I don't drink much alcohol. I do my alcohol-free, even though I am willing to do some wine tasting. But I want to go there and just experience their atmosphere. I like their pictures and different things that they share online. Again, it is Seven Springs farms and vineyards. What did I want to? Oh, I wanted to share this with y'all. Look, y'all. Look, this family got it going on, y'all. They have a Airbnb right on site that not sits, but that accommodates 6 people. So even if you come up for the weekend and you want to spend the night right there on right in the area, you can stay right at the vineyard. They have an air. I was like, y'all better do it, Black family, Springs family. Y'all better do that so they can accommodate you. You know, I'm pretty sure it's like first come, first serve. And I think it's just the one Airbnb. So when I was looking on their website, it was just the one that I saw, but they may be able to expand in the future and offer some other accommodations to those who are visiting the vineyard for the weekend. They also have some more information of another hotel in case their Airbnb is booked. But I encourage you to go on their website, check them out. I'm not sure. Let me see. I don't know if they do any online ordering. So I'm not quite sure if you're able to get some wine like delivered to you, or right now if it's just in, you got to go in person. You find that information out for yourself and you plan accordingly. They have the Soul Picnic event that's coming up. That's what I think is what I really want to go to. There's some music, culture, food. They have different events going on all day. So again, the Seven Springs Vineyards. And in case y'all haven't noticed, I do highlight Black businesses on Sip and Say with Stephanie, because again, this is a Black edition. I'm like, it's the race there. I'm rooting for everything Black. I'm rooting for everybody Black. I know that she was talking about the awards, but I'm rooting for everybody Black. So I'm going to be supporting Black businesses and sharing with you about Black businesses during Sip and Say in case you haven't picked up on that yet. All right, so let me take a sip. I'm gonna have to go get my water bottle because I'm quickly drinking my condensing water. All right. So Juneteenth, so if you can, like in your area, join the Juneteenth celebrations that might be going on in your area. If you're still a little hesitant to be out in a crowd, check, like Google it and see if there are any online or digital celebrations that are going on, and join them just so you can understand the reason why we celebrate Juneteenth, the importance of Juneteenth to not only the African community, but to everybody. Freedom for one is freedom for all. So join some celebrations on Juneteenth. And we're talking about some music, the Soul Picnic at Seven Springs, featuring music and food, y'all. They have a good food menu. Like, I'm so excited. I'm gonna stop talking about them. But they have a really good food menu as well. I'm really excited to be able to visit their vineyard for the first time, hopefully this weekend. So that's Seven Springs. So let's get into some music, y'all. In case you didn't know, June is Black Music Appreciation Month. Woohoo! Y'all know with all my singing, I love me some music, especially me some Black music, y'all. So what I have planned to do is I have planned to have all of my favorite artists listed out so that I could go over those with you. But I'm gonna just have to wing it because I didn't have time. I got home a little later today. And so I didn't have the time to actually write them down so that I can remember them all, because y'all, my memory can be what it be sometimes. Some days it's good, some days it's just like, oh Lord, I need to write it down so that I can remember what's going on or what I need to say, or write down events. I really understand why newscasters have their iPads. Well, even before the iPads, I'm assuming they had like note cards, or they had papers to help them to remember the news so that they can get the facts straight and give us the accurate information. I totally understand having cue cards for presentation so that you can remember everything that you want to say, and so that the information that you're presenting is accurate. So I have my notes here, but I didn't get all my music down. But y'all, let's just go through it. Let's just talk about it. So my favorite artist growing up was Whitney Houston. Like, I love me. I want to dance with somebody. I want to feel the heat with somebody. I love me some Whitney. Oh, I want to dance with somebody. With somebody who loves me. I love me some Whitney Houston. I grew up in a time where magazines had posters in them. They came with free postage, You can pull the poster out. It was usually in the centerfold, so it was easy to tear out. And you post, I had Whitney Houston and Ralph Macchio up on my wall when I was growing up. Those are my two, Ralph Macchio, Whitney Houston. I love me some Whitney Houston growing up, still love Whitney Houston, the late Whitney Houston, still love her music. It is such an inspiration and so powerful. So she is one of my all-time favorite singers and probably will always be. Love me some Whitney Houston. I don't know my favorite song. Of course, I love her singing I Will Always Love You. Like, she took Dolly Parton's I Will Always Love You to a whole other level. I don't know what Dolly was doing, but Whitney took that song to another level. So I will always love that song, that rendition, like her rendition. So I think my favorite, her first album, which I didn't take the time to look it up, that was one of my favorites because I grew up with that. But that Bodyguard soundtrack, woo, man, I want to run to you. Y'all ain't got my singer voice on tonight, so I want to run to you. Lady of the Night, Queen of the Night, excuse me. What else did she do? She did Jesus Loves Me. Ain't got the stuff that you want, I got the stuff that you need. Okay, that's Queen of the Night. Her voice was so amazing on that Bodyguard soundtrack. Like, it is one of my favorite soundtracks by her. And of course, I Will Always Love You was on that soundtrack as well. She is my all-time favorite, one of my all-time favorite vocalists. Who's another? I love me some CeCe Winans. CeCe Winans is one of my favorite artists as well. I have quite a few of her CDs, but I think my favorite song by CeCe Winans is Nobody. I hadn't pulled that CD out. I have the DVD actually. No one could ever love me like you can, like you do. I wouldn't. Oh, can't even remember but that's one of my favorite songs. We talked about like nobody loves me like Jesus. Woo, hallelujah. Nobody can do for me what Jesus can do. I love that song. I'm gonna have to pull it out now. Like, after Sip and Say with Stephanie, I'm gonna have to pull that DVD out so I can watch it. Like, if you get a chance, look up CeCe Winans' Dove performance. I don't remember which year it was, but she sings it on the Dove performance, and man, she blows it out of the water. So that's one of my favorite songs by her. I love her. Her CeCe one is one of her first one where she's dressed in yellow. I haven't put out her CDs in a while, but she has a lot of worship songs on there. Like Great Is Thy Faithfulness is one of my favorite songs by her. And so I love her as an artist. I haven't tapped into CeCe Winans' new music. I'm just remembering most of her older music, like from those first CDs. I used to listen to them all the time, but I haven't pulled her out in a long time. But she's still, even though I haven't listened to her music in a long time, I haven't pulled it out, she still remains one of my favorite all-time artists. My third one, I was about to say for female, but female, male. My third one is Karen Clark Sheard. Oh my Lord. She is a dynamite. All the Clark sisters to me are dynamite singers. But I love me some Karen Clark Sheard, like her Finally Karen album. Holy thou art holy, there is none beside thee. Woo! Perfect in thy majesty, love and purity. Oh my Lord, a praying spirit. Lord, give me a praying. It's sung a little high. Spirit. So it's a little high for me, but that praying spirit, a praying spirit throughout the day. Oh my gosh, I love that song. There's a Balm in Gilead. What are some of the other songs? The song that she does with Kiki. What was that one? The safest place in the whole wide world is in the will of God. Amen. So they are three of my favorite artists. I love me some oldies, y'all. So I love the Temptations, love me some Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, like a fool I wouldn't stay too long. But now that you're gone, my love's still strong. Ooh, baby, here I am, signed, sealed, delivered, I'm yours. I love me some Stevie Wonder. Who are y'all favorite artists? Like, who, when you hear their song come on, you start jamming and grooving? Who do you love? I love me some Earth, Wind, and Fire. I love me some Maze featuring Frankie Beverly. Let me go back to some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Reasons, the reasons that we're here, the reasons that we feel our feelings won't disappear. Woo, I'm gonna stop singing. Oh, now, after the love games have been played. So anyway, I love me some Earth, Wind, and Fire. Love me some Frankie Beverly featuring Maze. What else? I love me some Hillsong Worship. I don't listen to Hillsong Worship as much as I used to, but I love me some Hillsong Worship. Y'all know a choir that y'all need to tap into is the Brooklyn Tabernacle. Woo! Y'all tap into y'all some Brooklyn Tabernacle. They are, I don't even know how many voices make up that choir. I want to say it's about 100 or so, but they I'm pretty sure they write some original songs, but I've heard them sing the songs of other artists. And y'all, they got it going on. Like, they are anointed to do what they do. So tap into Brooklyn Tabernacle Choir. One of my all-time favorite choirs, I mean, there's Mississippi Mass Choir, Chicago Mass Choir, but I love me some Donald Lawrence and the Tri-City Singers. Y'all, that Donald Lawrence and Tri-City Singers, they are a gospel group, in case you don't know. I am God all by myself. I don't need any help. I can handle things on my own. I am the first, the last, whatever you need, just ask for. I am God. Yes, I love it. That's one of their older songs, y'all, but it's a classic and it still rings true. God is God. So I just love music. Y'all know, y'all have heard me sing. My singing voice is not the best tonight, but y'all heard me. I love music. So to take this time for the month of June to celebrate Black music, y'all know a lot of white artists took their music from Black folks. Big Mama Thornton is a prime example. She is the originator of the song that Elvis Presley made popular. Oh gosh, now I can't even think of it. Now I'm gonna have to look it up because I can't think of it. But it was Big Mama Thornton's song, and then Elvis Presley took it and made it popular. Hound Dog, you ain't nothing but a hound dog. Big Mama Thornton, don't get it twisted. So there were a lot of artists that produced their original work, and it was stolen by white artists. I'm not even gonna go there because I can't plan to talk about that tonight. But Black music is about, in my thought, Black music is about celebration. It's about joy. It's about peace. Sometimes it's about the pain and the sorrow that we have experienced. Sometimes it's about a call and response, like the Negro spirituals. Y'all, there was a song I was singing. I know exactly what it was. I had not sang this song in a long time, but I found myself singing it. We've come a long way, Lord. We've come a long way, Lord. We've come a long way. But the verse that got me is bearing our burdens in the heat of the day, knowing that the Lord will surely make a way. We've come a long way. Oh, my Lord, we've come a long way. And it's by faith. We've come a long way. And when I got to that verse about bearing our burdens in the heat of the day, I said, I'd be doggone if that wasn't talking about during times of slavery, when Black people were enslaved, because that's the time we were bearing our burdens in the heat of the day, not only enduring the whips on our back, but enduring that heat, harvesting that cotton, maybe barely having enough to drink or eat. I was just like, doggone it. I have heard that song so many times growing up, but never put two and two together. But when I was singing that revelation hit, I was like, I need to do some research and see when that song was written, because it is surely talking about the times of enslavement. So, Negro spirituals, call and response. That is how, as we know, our history, enslaved people, I don't want to say slaves, but enslaved people communicated with each other, sometimes communicating, look, we about to break out of here. We about to run. We about to do a Kunta Kinte up in this piece. We about to get up out of here. So the call and response help to deliver messages to other family members, other friends, other enslaved people on different plantations. And it also, again, talked about our sorrow, talked about the things that we went through, Negro spirituals and other songs, talks about our sorrows, but also the joys that we have experienced being free today. While we're free, but we're still fighting for some of our freedom. So again, this is Black History, Black Music Appreciation Month. So make sure that you tap into some Black history. I also wanted to, look, y'all, I don't know if y'all like jazz, but if you do like jazz, or even if you don't, do some research on John Coltrane. He was born in North Carolina, High Point, North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. He was born in North Carolina. Get you some Bill Duke. Check out Art Tatum. Like, if you have never sat and listened to Art, A-R-T, Tatum, T-A-T-U-M play, you missing something. Let me take, oh my love. I'm thinking Stevie Wonder is like, and Ray Charles are ridiculous on the ivories, on the keys, on the piano. Tap into you some Art Tatum. Like, go to YouTube and pull up some of his videos and listen to him. He is he was a jazz pianist. Man, you talking about some Black history or some Black music, tap into some Art Tatum. I love me some Miles Davis. What other artists do I like? I haven't really tapped into the R&B or the soul of today's time. Just because the music has changed to something totally different than what I grew up with, and some of the lyrics and messages that are in Black music, I don't agree with some of it. Like some of the sex, some of the drugs, the drinking, some of the get rich quick type of messages that are in some of our Black music today, I do not like. So I don't listen to them. I cannot give you any information or any additional information about it, because those songs to me they're meaningless. They have no value to the life of Black people. That's just my just sip and say with Stephanie, so I'm gonna say what I want to say. They do not add value to the life of Black people. I'm not quite sure why our Black artists make that type of music, but they're selling hundreds and hundreds of thousands of records. So there are people in our community as well as other communities that enjoy that music. I personally do not. It is what it is, but again, in my opinion, it does not add value to our community. It does not uplift us as a people. It does not uplift us as a society, in my opinion. Even some of the music that women are making or have made about their butts, like, I don't understand those things, because there are so many more important things to talk about, like social activism, uplifting our youth with some of our broken educational systems, uplifting the Black community as far as our beauty, our uniqueness, our growth as Black entrepreneurs and different things of that nature. So that's the kind of music that I like to listen to, music that is uplifting. Like John Legend has quite a bit of uplifting music. Like, he's one of the more, what I consider a modern artist that I will listen to his music. And I'm trying to, some other ones I can't really think of right now, because I don't listen to a lot of secular music, a lot of R&B. I mainly listen to the oldies, R&B, like from the 1980s, and me some Motown. That's what I love. So y'all just hit me up in the chat. Just let me know what kind of music you like. Let me know the artists that you like. Like, I love Christian music. I love worship music. I love jazz. I love contemporary. Again, the oldies, Motown. That's what I want to listen to. I love instrumental music, like when I just want to relax, or sometimes when I'm driving in the car, I'll put some instrumental music on, or if I'm at work, sometimes I'll just put some instrumental music on and just kind of, I just enjoy that atmosphere. Music can change the atmosphere. Like, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling sorrowful or in a depressive type state, put you some worship music on. It will change your atmosphere. It will begin to encourage you and lift you up. You know, if you want to dance, put you on some Earth, Wind and Fire, or some Maze feature Frankie Beverly, or what else do I put you on? Some Michael Jackson, y'all. When my niece and nephew were younger, my niece and nephew that's been with me the longest, when they were younger and they came to the house, we put on Michael Jackson. That's what we danced to. That's what we exercised to. Like, Remember the Time, Beat It. I didn't play much Thriller because they were younger. And y'all know the rest of the Michael Jackson songs that you can dance to. Black and White, you know, we would put that on. We watch the videos and be dancing, trying to do Michael Jackson moves and stuff. So yes, so I love Black music. So again, Black Music Appreciation Month, celebrating all June. Let me share, y'all, look, I was reading about this Derek Chauvin. This is the Black edition. And we know that Derek Chauvin was convicted in April for the murder of George Floyd. So I was reading an article. Y'all, his attorney, Eric Nelson, is trying to get a new trial for Derek Chauvin because they found that one of the jurors in 2020, he was wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt, and he participated in one of the protests that led up to, or that came after the death of George Floyd. So they want to say that it was basically a mistrial, and they want a brand new trial for Derek Chauvin. That is what Derek Chauvin's attorney, Eric Nelson, is trying to do currently. Did y'all hear what I said? I said that they are trying to get a new trial for Derek Chauvin because one of the 12 jurors was wearing a Black Lives Matter t-shirt and participated in one of the protests. This strikes me as funny because I'm thinking, how many times have there been one or more jurors on the jury stand in a case where a Black person was on trial and their racist attitudes, not even just white people, other race people, but white people in particular, where their mind is going, I don't care what the evidence says about this Black man. I don't care what the evidence says about this Black woman. I'm sending them to jail. Your thoughts just can't be proven. Our thoughts cannot be proven unless we speak them out of our mouths. So they may let their biases influence them to the verdict that they, or not the verdict, but to the vote for the verdict that they choose to give, whether guilty or not guilty. Their thoughts may be guiding them and making that vote. And we can't prove that. Like, there's no way for us to take somebody's thoughts out of their head and be like, look, this juror was thinking racist thoughts. They were going to convict this Black person because they are a racist. They are white supremacists. You know, we can't prove that. But just a simple fact, again, that this juror had a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on and protested in during the 2020 protest, and then they want to declare that there were some biases going on towards Derek Chauvin being found guilty. So this is what his attorney said, y'all. Eric Nelson said, jury intimidation or potential fear or retribution. That's what he's calling it. He's feeling like not only did this particular juror may have had some biases or influences, but he also thinks that the protests, the social media, all of the communication and conversations that were going on on social media, even going as far as, not the lawyer in particular, but there has been talk from the judge and others about Maxine Waters being very vocal, Representative Maxine Waters being very vocal about Derek Chauvin needing to be found guilty, needing to not necessarily be found guilty, let me take that back, but her being vocal about justice needing to happen. They even want to use that as an influencer of Derek being found guilty. Not the fact that he actually did kill George Floyd, and he did, he murdered him. Not that fact, but the fact that other things caused him to be found guilty. Not that the facts found him to be guilty, but his attorney is saying that there were other influences that other influences that influenced the guilty verdict. Y'all, let me tell y'all something. The man is guilty. We had Rodney King, all of the media. We didn't have like Instagram and Facebook and all the social media that we have today, but Rodney King, I think it was it in '83 when Rodney King was beaten? Let me look it up really quick. I think it was in '83. But there was that was publicized heavily. There was a lot of communication and different things going on at that time. Oh gosh, what year was it? Okay, it was 1991. So I was way off, y'all. 1991. It was publicized. People were talking about it. None of that helped influence a jury to find those that were accused of his beating. They were not found guilty. So you can't. So even though there is news going on, there's social media now going on, you cannot, in my opinion, use that as an excuse to either declare a mistrial or to ask for a new trial. The news is going to go forth regardless of what's going on. It just is what it is. Deal with the fact that you murdered this man. Take your punishment like a man, man up or woman up. If you're not strong enough to be a man, woman up, and just take your punishment and keep it pushing. But what I feel it is, Derek is like, I don't want to have to pay for killing this Black man. Like there are other police officers that have gotten off for killing Black people. Why do I have to serve my time? Like, why do I have to pay? Because you murdered him just like they murdered the other Black folk. They just didn't get charged for it. You got charged, rightfully so. You were convicted, rightfully so. Serve your time. That's all I got to say about that. Well, actually, that's not all I have to say about that. I do want to say that, this is what they said about the juror. Let me give you all the information. So Brandon Mitchell was the juror that was wearing the Black Lives Matter movement t-shirt. So this is what Eric Nelson said. No, not Eric Nelson. Wasn't Eric Nelson this time. This is what a jury consultant, Alan Turkheimer, said. He said Mitchell being dishonest could change the outcome of things. If there is anything that makes him seem that he was not forthcoming. So in other words, I guess if I'm not fully sure what he means with this, but I'm thinking what this jury consultant means is by him not telling them that I participated in a rally or a protest that supported whatever needed to happen with these police officers that killed George Floyd, I did participate in this particular protest. I don't know if that's what this jury consultant means. I'm thinking that's what he means. I don't know what information a juror has to disclose when they're going through jury selection. I don't know the guidelines or the qualifications for being a juror or the disqualifications. That's something that I would have to do some research on. But I can't see him not sharing that. I don't see where that information was pertinent. I don't, but I'm not a lawyer. I am not a legal mind. So maybe there are some guidelines that I am unaware of. But to me, that's not enough for him to have been disqualified as a juror. And it's not enough to say that this man, Derek Chauvin, should receive a new trial just because this man participated in the protest. Because again, there's some other things going on there are things that go on with other jurors in other cases that just can't be proven. And I'm gonna say that and I'm gonna leave it there. So I do want to say this, that Derek Chauvin will be sentenced. He's scheduled to be sentenced really soon. I couldn't get a clear date. I saw like June 25th, I saw June 28th. So whatever date it is supposed to happen this month, that he is supposed to be sentenced. He was charged for second-degree murder, and that carries up to a 40-year sentence, prison sentence. For the third-degree murder charge, it carries up to 25 years. And for the manslaughter charge, it carries up to 10 years. So he can potentially serve up to 75 years in prison. Is a judge going to have him in prison for 75 years? I don't think so. This sip and say with Stephanie is a white judge and he's a white man. I do not think he's going to have him serve the maximum time. That's just how I feel about it. But we'll find out soon when his sentencing takes place. I don't know if the fact that Derek Chauvin's lawyer wants a new trial, I don't know if that's going to affect the sentencing or not, because again, I'm not a lawyer and I don't know things pertaining to law like extensively. I don't have that extensive knowledge, so I don't know if it's going to affect the sentencing or not. I'm thinking it shouldn't, but I really don't know. But we'll see really soon, how many years Derek will get in jail, how many years he's going to be sentenced. And then the other remaining officers, Thomas Lane, J. Alexander Kong, and To Tao is his name. They're actually standing trial next month. And if they go to trial, y'all, I would be very surprised, because I'm thinking that they're going to take a plea. Like, I feel very strongly that they're going to take a plea, but they may not, but I'm just thinking they might. So we'll see what happens in that case as well. So I will keep you posted. And if you get some news, you keep us posted. All right, I think the last thing that I want to share tonight is, for those of you who don't know, and if you don't know, I don't know what to say, but Black Wall Street in not Galveston, I'm going back to Texas for Juneteenth, but in Tulsa, Oklahoma, the Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma, back in the early 1900s, African people, Black people established the Greenwood district in Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was a thriving Black community with their own businesses, their own church, their own library, churches, their own library. There was a hospital there. Of course, their homes were there. It was a thriving community that was massacred, that was burnt down, that was destroyed on May 31st, 1921, by a mob of white supremacists, is who they were. There were some, I don't want to call them celebrations, there were some events that took place May 31st, around that weekend. I was actually watching them online. Roland Martin, with Roland Martin Unfiltered, he was live streaming some of the events that were going on in Tulsa. A few of the survivors were acknowledged, and they were talking. Some of the descendants of the families that were killed, some of their descendants spoke and talked about the history of Black Wall Street and how that destruction, how that massacre affected their family. If you don't understand, generational wealth is it is key. It just is. Generational wealth is key for families to experience wealth for generations to come, for generation after generation after generation. That is one reason why white people are so rich from generation to generation, because when America was founded, with their suppression, they suppressed people in order to build their wealth. They enslaved people, oppressed people in order to build their wealth. And their wealth has been happening for hundreds of years now. They've been able to build generational wealth for hundreds of years. They did it on the backs of Black people. They did it on the back of Indigenous people. They did it on the backs of people of color, Native people. They did it on the backs of other people. That's how they were able to gain their wealth. And it lasts for generations to come. So generational wealth is key. Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma started building generational wealth for their families, and all of that was totally destroyed, y'all. And some of those, I remember listening to some of the family members talking about, I don't know if you watched Soul of a Nation, but I'll give you some more information about that. So let me just say it now. Soul of a Nation was a 6-part series hosted by ABC. I think it happened in February, between February and March. And it was good, y'all. If y'all haven't watched it, I know I've talked about it already on a previous broadcast, but if you have not watched the Soul of a Nation episodes, they are still available, as far as I know, on ABC's website. I'll put the link in the description. But they decided in May, they decided to do a 7-part to the series, and it was a Tulsa, I think it was called the Tulsa Massacre. They did a special edition, Soul of a Nation, and I was able to listen, and I did tune in that Tuesday night at 10 p.m. and listen to the survivors, and they talked about how some of their family members are still struggling. You know, a lot of people, let me just say this. I have heard people, non-Black people, non-people of color say this, white people say this. They cannot understand why Black people who have been in this country for all these hundreds of years, they cannot understand why we still, what they call, need a handout. They cannot understand why we don't have some of the wealth that they have. They cannot understand why we can't just pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. They don't understand why we complain about a lack of economics, lack of adequate education, lack of housing, adequate housing, affordable housing for Black people in good neighborhoods, good communities. They cannot understand why we, and I'm not going to say complain about it, but why we talk about this, why we are demanding this. It's because of the oppression that we have experienced since we were stolen from our land and brought over to this country to work for you. That's why we're still struggling, because again, your family generations back had an opportunity to establish wealth, and you are experiencing generational wealth right now. Black people did not have the opportunity to experience generational wealth. And every time we tried to build wealth for our families, just like Black Wall Street, just like the massacre that happened in Wilmington, you all come, white mobs come and destroy our communities, our businesses. And then we have to start, because of your jealousy, because of your fear, and then we have to start all over again, building wealth so that we can have generational wealth for our families. We have struggled to build wealth for our families so that it can carry on for generations to come. So don't tell me that I need to pull myself up by my bootstraps. Don't tell me I need to stop complaining. Don't tell me I need to stop asking for this and that. Don't tell me that I need to stop demanding things. It's because it was stolen. It was never given. It's still not given. Black people have to fight for everything that we have. We have had to fight for, even through the racism, even through the oppression, even through the suppression, even through the laws that have been established against us. Redlining is one. If you don't know about it, do a study about redlining, where Black people were regulated to certain communities because white people didn't want Black people in their communities. There have been laws, there have been unwritten laws, written laws, there have been guidelines established by the people in power to keep Black people down. So don't tell me to pull myself up by my bootstraps when you have been oppressive to Black people for all these hundreds of years, for all these generations. We're working as hard as we can to get, like, what? We got to work twice as hard to get half of what you have, white people, just to let you know. And I love my white brothers and sisters, but some of this white privilege that y'all are experiencing, I need y'all to humble yourselves and open y'all eyes, get the smoke out, get the mote out of your eyes, let the smoke screen go so you can see clearly the oppressive history of these here United States of America. It is part of the history. Y'all want to talk about the atrocities of the Holocaust? Y'all want to talk about the atrocities that the Jews had to suffer, but you don't want to talk about what enslaved people had to suffer under your hand? Come on, somebody, come on, get it right now. This is the history of the United States of America. Yes, racism is still alive. I don't care what the Republican Party tries to tell you, racism. They try to say that, oh, racism no longer exists because we have a Black president. President Barack Obama was a biracial president. His mother was white, his dad was African, he was biracial. You just don't want to accept the white part because he has brown skin, has a brown family, but he was a biracial president. Let's just get it clear. And so you want to say, because we had our first Black president and President Barack Obama, that racism no longer exists. Well, let's do the history. Let's look at all of the laws that President Obama tried to pass that the Republican Party shut down, because we're not going to work with this Black president. Y'all come on in here. You want to say racism don't exist? Y'all don't. I'm going to slowly digress. But I'm just saying. So Black Wall Street happened. I mean, Black Wall Street, the Greenwood, y'all, they were thriving, just like the Wilmington community. They were thriving, but white people came and destroyed our communities. You know, it happened in Durham, North Carolina. They took the Durham freeway and they went right through Black communities. We had a Black Wall Street, what we consider Black Wall Street in Durham, North Carolina, and they built the Durham freeway and it went right through Black communities. There's only a few businesses like the Hayti Heritage Center, look it up, that is still established and still standing strong from the pushing out of Black people. Thriving community, but getting pushed out. We have the North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company is still there. There's a auto center called Spate that survived that destruction of the Black Wall Street in Durham. You know, so Black communities, we have tried to build wealth for ourselves, for our community, for our families, but we get knocked down when we do that because white people get jealous. They get afraid that we're going to have more than they have. White people, y'all afraid Black people going to get more than what you have. So you destroyed our communities. You destroyed our opportunities for building generational wealth. So that's my soapbox. I had not planned to say all that, but it just sip and say, well, Stephanie, it is what it is. So again, the Greenwood district was thriving. And within a matter of a short period of time, y'all, that community was ultimately destroyed. And for years, y'all, those who survived did not talk about it. I don't know if they didn't talk about it because of fear of being killed, or fear of not being able to work and provide for their families. I'm not sure, but for a long time, it was not talked about. It was like hush, hush. Do some history about Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I do want to say that last month in May, Miss Viola Fletcher, who is 107 years old, she is still alive today. She was 7 years old, you all, when the Tulsa Massacre happened. On May 31st, 1921, she was 7 years old, and she presented before Congress and she recounted the feeling of her family in that community at that time. 107, y'all, and mine's still sharp. Her brother also, his name is Hughes Van Ellis. He's 100 years old, y'all. He was, I can't remember if they said that he was a baby or he wasn't quite born when the Tulsa Massacre happened. I don't know what date he was born. So I don't know, I can't remember. Miss Viola did mention it. I feel like she said he was a baby at the time when the Tulsa Massacre happened, but both of them presented before Congress, along with another young lady whose name, I couldn't find her name in time for the broadcast, but I'll find it and I'll put it in the description. All three of them presented before Congress just to let Congress know, like, this happened in our community, it happened to our families, and there needs to be an acknowledgement that this happened, and there needs to be some type of compensation for the loss that we experienced, that our families experienced, that our community experienced 100 years ago. They, Mr. Hughes was really emotional when he talked, and Miss Viola, I really appreciated them at 107 and at 100. speaking before Congress about what their family experienced during Black Wall Street. If you get an opportunity, look them up. You can find their videos on YouTube and you can listen to their presentation. I have not followed up to see what Congress has done or will do for this community of survivors, but I really do pray not only the survivors, but the descendants of the families who were affected by this Tulsa massacre, but I'm hoping and praying that our government will give them some type of compensation, some type of reparations for what their families and for what they themselves endured. And that's all the information that I wanted to share on tonight. I'm telling you, I'm all things Black. This is all things Black. I got my Black Lives Matter earrings on tonight. You know, I'm not all down with some of the leaders of the Black Lives Matter movement in particular, but I am down for all Black lives because Black lives do matter. Um, and all lives won't matter until all Black lives matter. Let's just get that straight. And so yeah, so I really appreciate. I'm gonna take another sip. Just see if there's any comments or anything. So there's nothing going on right now. But I just want to thank you for joining me for Sip and Say with Stephanie. It has been an honor and a privilege to share the Black edition with you on tonight. And it's always an honor and privilege just to share news, to share my thoughts, to share my heart. And I encourage us to be kind to our neighbors. I encourage us to have good conversation with our neighbors. Maybe you have some white neighbors that don't understand why we proclaim that Black Lives Matter. You know, maybe you have some neighbors that don't understand why Black people are fighting so hard to experience some of the liberties that they experience. So have some communication with your neighbors, with your family members who may be white or of other races that may not fully understand the Black experience. Be willing to have those conversations with them. Be willing to be honest about your own testimony being a Black person in America. Be willing to offer some resources to them so that they can get educated as well. Should we always have to educate white people? No, I don't think we should always have to educate white people. I think that there's enough information out in our world today. The library is still working. We can find loads of information on the internet. So should we always have to educate white people? No. But if an opportunity presents itself, let's do it. Let's do it. So thank you all again. You know what? Let me mention this, y'all, in case you all didn't know about this, because when I was listening to the events that were happening, and again, shout out to Roland Martin with Roland Martin Unfiltered. He streamed the Black Wall Street commemoration in May. He live streamed a lot of the events there, and I really appreciated him for doing that because I couldn't get to. I want to say Galveston, Texas, but that's Juneteenth. But I couldn't get to Tulsa, Oklahoma, but he brought Tulsa, Oklahoma to us, to me in particular. And I really enjoyed watching the broadcast that he presented. So thank you, Roland Martin, for doing that. If you haven't seen it, check out Roland Martin, check out Black Wall Street, and look at some of the videos that he put out. It's some good information, some good history for us. So yeah, so check that out. But I really, when I was thinking about the Tulsa massacre, it had me thinking, and I had to look it up because I couldn't remember where it happened. But there, what year was it? Let me make sure I got my year right. And there's one other thing I'm gonna say about Juneteenth, but let me see if I wrote it down. I didn't write it down, but you all can look it up. It happened in Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken, but there was this group that considered themselves MOVE, M-O-V-E, and they were living kind of a minimalist life where they, I can't remember all of the life adjustments that they made in order to live a minimalist life, but they really didn't want to be bothered. It's just like people who choose to practice to be a vegan or choose to practice, whatever religion, Christianity or Judaism or Buddhism, or those are our Muslim brothers and sisters, but they were choosing to, follow their own way of life. And you all, their home was bombed. I cannot remember when it happened, but I need to go back and revisit that history because it's been a long time since I looked it up. But I remember one of my coworkers, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, he either used to live in that community or knew that community. He's from Philly, and he was sharing the information with me. So I went and looked it up, but I didn't commit like all of those facts to memory. So every time I think about move, I have to look it up to make sure that I'm getting the facts right. But that their home was bombed, y'all. Let me see what year it was. 1985. Check out the 1985 move bombing. They were bombed right here on American soil, y'all. American citizens, Black American citizens were bombed right here on American soil. So if you don't know that history, look up the bombing, the move bombing. Check it out. Just check it out. Check it out, y'all. Just so we can understand and know our history. All right, y'all. Again, thank you for joining me. Look, this is a book that we'll be studying or we'll be reading next Thursday, A Love So Strong. It is a coming of age story. It is the story of Todd and Deandra. It starts off when they're in high school and it travels with them into their adult life. So you get to see their friendship in their senior year of high school and how it evolves over time. So check me out next Thursday right here at 6:30 p.m. on the Stephanie Humphrey channel to get some information about or to hear me read excerpts from A Love So Strong. Y'all, I know next month or next Thursday is a 2021 book study, but this is Sip and Say with Stephanie, so I wanted to share this, and then I promise I'm gonna let y'all go. So these are my two new books. This is called Walking Out Our Love. It's the story of Emerald and Dominic, and this is a return to love. The story of Sabrina and Robert. So this is a book I want to talk to y'all. Y'all, I'm gonna tell on my mama, and then I'm gonna let y'all go. So my mom, she has both of these books, and she read them, and we were discussing them, and she was telling me that I need to do a sequel to this book, to Return to Love. Y'all, not only did my mom tell me that I needed to do a sequel, but she started telling me what the sequel should be. Yes, Mama, I'm telling on you. So I'm sitting here listening to my mama tell me what my story should be. And I'm like, Mama, you need to write your own story and stop trying to tap into my story. See, that's why you got to be careful about what you let your family, your parents and your family tap into, right? But she was telling me, about what I should do. And I'm just like, no, Mama, you need to go write your own story. You can't tap into my anointing, Mom. You can't tap into my writing, Mom. You got to get your own story. So I'm going to keep encouraging my mom, because my mom has been talking about releasing a book for years now, almost as long as I've been writing, or almost because I've been writing since I was in elementary school. So almost as long as I've published my first book was published in 2008, but my first romance novel was published in 2013. So just about for that long, my mom has been talking about writing a book, releasing a book. Y'all, if y'all know my mama, encourage my mama to write a book so that she can have, it is nothing like having a finished work in your hand that has your name on it and says, I did this is mine. That's why you can't have mine. You can't tap into mine, Mama. You got to get your own. So so y'all encourage my mom to write. I'm going to keep encouraging her to write, because I want her to release her first book sometime soon. Maybe I can get her to release one next year in 2022. November is National Novel Writing Month. I have been trying to get my mama to write a novel with me for the last at least 3 years. She has been doing it. Like, she has been writing. So I'm gonna keep my mom encouraged. Y'all keep her encouraged so she can release her first novel. I love you, Mama, but you can't tap in. But I know it's in you for you to release your own. The words are in you. You just got to get them down on paper so we can release them out to the world. So I just wanted y'all to let y'all know about my mama. Trying to tap into my skills and things. When she has skills of her own to tap into, like she has her own grace, her own gifting, her own anointing to write. We just need to get her to do it. All right, y'all. I am done. I'm going to see if I have any comments before I let you all go. Don't forget, we're celebrating Juneteenth on Saturday. This will be, I'm not going to calculate the years, 1865 to 1921. Y'all get it. Oh, let me share this with you. I keep saying I'm going to let y'all go, and I promise you I will. But let me share this with you. I forgot to share this tidbit of information about Juneteenth. Today, y'all, today, June 17th, 2021, President Joe Biden signed Juneteenth into law as a federal holiday. Woohoo! Juneteenth, June 19th is now a federal holiday, y'all. I was so excited to read that news and to be able to announce it to you. If you haven't heard it yet, you heard it first here on Sip and Say with Stephanie, that Juneteenth is now a federal holiday. Woohoo! So I know that the founders, I didn't look up the founders of Juneteenth, but check out Juneteenth.com and you can get more information about Juneteenth. But I know that there are individuals who have been celebrating Juneteenth and been establishing and hosting celebrations. I know they were very excited to hear this news. And I wanted to read, this is what Vice President Kamala Harris said. Throughout history, Juneteenth has been known by many names: Jubilee Day, Freedom Day, Liberation Day, Emancipation Day, and today, a national holiday. So again, if you haven't heard it yet, you heard it here first on Sip and Say with Stephanie. Juneteenth is now a federal holiday, and I was really excited that that got signed into law. So I'm going to be, look, I might end up planning next year. I might be able to plan my own Juneteenth celebration. We'll see how it goes. The Lord bless me to live to see it. Or like my daddy said, the Lord delay his coming. I might be planning one for 2022. So again, thank you for joining Sip and Say with Stephanie. I'll see y'all next week. Love you. Be blessed.